Dipty's joining us for the press review. Dipty, big question in the papers today. Is Donald Trump then going to get his Nobel Peace Prize after all?
Yeah, I think probably a statement we never thought we'd be taking so seriously, but it is a case despite a Hail Mary peace plan between Hamas and Israel. Nobel Peace Prize committee members are reportedly, as the Daily Beast says, laughing at Donald Trump's Peace Prize hopes. It's hard to take seriously, they've said, the Daily Beast, citing a report by the Financial Times. And the Norwegian press seems to think so too. This is from a Norwegian daily here, this headline reading, threats or, well, it's reading essentially, he's begging and he's threatening his way into a peace prize. And here it says, maybe we should just give it to him so we'll be done with it. While an opinion piece from this Norwegian paper here says that he's outright obsessed with the idea of getting a Nobel Peace Prize, this despite the fact that his past actions and comments could actively disqualify him, for instance, berating President Zelensky in the Oval Office, threatening military force to take the Panama Canal back, and belligerent behavior towards allies.
Yeah, one website says that the Donald Trump Peace Prize might not be so far-fetched, given the prize's history.
Yeah, that's right. It's from this Australian website, Crikey, which I don't have here, but I'll tell you what they say. They say maybe Donald Trump getting the prize might actually be in keeping with the history of the Nobel Peace Prize. Alfred Nobel, the founding father, made his fortune inventing dynamite and modern explosives, and then he became directly involved in manufacturing weapons. He later justified this by saying that he hoped his weapons would make civilized nations recoil in horror and disband their troops. And then in 1973, Henry Kissinger got the Peace Prize, this after extending the Vietnam War into Cambodia, and then financing, arming, and ultimately betraying the Iraqi Kurdish insurrection against Saddam Hussein.
Yeah, in any case, Dipty, the Nobel fate rests, doesn't it, in the hands of just 5 people?
It does, and that's what the Times of London says today. It says here that along with the recipe for coke and nuclear submarines, the Nobel Peace Prize deliberations are one of the most secretive processes on the planet. There are 5 people, 5 Norwegians with Donald Trump's prize dream in their hands. And no one, it appears, past and present, is above bribery, for instance. One chairman revealing that he was once taken to Disneyland and offered a trip to a brothel, which he declined, while past laureates have lobbied. Everyone agrees that no one has lobbied as hard as Donald Trump. One journalist is cited as wondering, will he impose additional tariffs on Norway if he doesn't get the Peace Prize? Well, we'll find out on Friday when those nominees are announced.
Exactly. Let's move to India for this next story. Police have arrested the owner of a pharmaceutical company whose cough syrup has been linked to child deaths there.
Yeah, that's right. The owner of Streisand pharmaceutical manufacturer was arrested this Thursday. It comes after at least 17, even 20 children under the age of 5 died after ingesting the Coldriff cough syrup that was later found to have a toxic component 500 times above the permissible link. The children died in the state of Madhya Pradesh. The Hindu Today headline, not headline, but the focus of this article from the Hindu Today is the World Health Organization seeking clarification from India to find out if that cough syrup had been exported, because of course India is one of the world's largest pharmaceutical exporters. Around 90% of Indian medicines go to the African continent, for instance. But in the Indian press, in any case, there's a lot of outrage. This is from Business Standard paper here, which in this article here reveals the bitter truth behind the cough syrup scare. They take us into the company headquarters in Chennai and really report on appalling hygienic conditions, including over 350 health violations that they could see in that office. It also looks like staff had not been there for several weeks. An editorial from this paper, meanwhile, Business Line here, calls it the killer syrup and says that really deplores the fact that India has not heeded past lessons, because back in 2022, dozens of children died in Gambia and Uzbekistan over deaths that were linked to Indian medication. Now, some rules have been tightened since then, but the editor says the investigation must take stock of shocking lapses.
Finally, from Dipti, a small insect's cutting skills could help revolutionise medical surgery.
Yeah, it's a really lovely article from the Daily Telegraph today. The insect that we're talking about is a sawfly, and researchers have been observing female sawflies, who are like wasps, who made specific incisions into plants when they lay their eggs. They actually possess a tubular organ that's able to cut into the leaf or stem of a plant and then insert the eggs without killing the plant or damaging it. The larvae are then able to live off the plant's nutrients. Now, the lead author for the study chalked it down to elegant engineering refined by millions of years of evolution, but they're hoping now to mimic this process to see if it could help in human surgeries, which of course today are complex to it because surgeons often find themselves working in conditions where there's a lot of blood and they have poor visibility.
Fascinating story. Let's hope that it does come to fruition, as it were. Dipti, thanks a lot. Dipti Kalarong with the papers for us on France 24.